Hey everybody, John Ramdeen here in the bowels of the T-Mobile Arena with one of the biggest names in mixed martial arts history, George St-Pierre. We know that you're making a return to the octagon, taking on Michael Bisping. You've been away from the game for so long. I know a lot of fans of martial arts are curious to know what you've been working on. We know you spent time in New York City working with the Danaher Death Squad, I'm sure elevating the jiu-jitsu game. How's it been just taking time off to grow as a martial artist?
Well, the only thing I can say about that is I'm aware that if I return as the same George St-Pierre I used to be, I'm going to have a very bad night against Michael Bisping. The sport has evolved, so I need to evolve as well. I'm convinced, my trainer are convinced, and my training partner are convinced that I'm a much better version I used to be. I'm in my prime right now, I'm ready to go.
When you see the landscape of mixed martial arts changing in front of your very eyes, I mean, you see it every day, young kids in the gym that are able to do things that were impossible 5 years ago. What did you need to do to make sure that you got to the level that you needed to get to upon your return?
It's not like I've been sitting on a couch the whole time. I keep myself updated. I don't believe humans got better. I don't think humans got like genetically necessarily better. I think technology get better. In terms of technology, when we're in fighting, we talk about the way the information is passed on to each other, the techniques, and the fighting knowledge. And that's why I believe the sport has evolved, and I need to evolve it as well, so I kept myself updated to everything.
One thing we've heard from fighters that have been in the game for a long time, we talked to Firas, he says he likes fighters that are kind of in their later stages. You're now in your mid-30s because they're smarter and they understand how to execute techniques in a more intelligent way. How have you amended your game plan now that you're not 21 years old anymore?
Well, there's a point where fighters reach their peak in terms of physicality, athleticism, and their peak in terms of knowledge. I mean, knowledge and wisdom never stop growing. But at one point, the key to reach the top as a fighter is to reach where the physicality is the top before it goes down. And I believe I'm in this peak right now. I have no desire of competing when I'm on the way down. But unfortunately, sometimes there's only one way to find out when you're on the way down. It's up here in the octagon. But I'm convinced, and I believe in my trainer, my friend, and everybody, and myself, that I'm in the best George St-Pierre I've ever been right now. And I will show it to everybody. That's why I came back to fight Bisping. I wanted to fight the biggest fight possible, the biggest challenge, to make a big boom in my comeback.
I know a lot of people over the years were anticipating you moving up to 185 pounds to take on Anderson Silva. We've talked to you in the past.
Yes.
You said you'd be willing to move down to 155 pounds to fight some of the names that are there as well. Why is this fight with Michael Bisping intriguing to you as one of the greats of the game?
Right now, I'm not champion anymore, so I don't have to defend my belt. And I have more. Back in the day, I had to defend my belt. I had injuries. I had a long lineup of challenge, and also there were the drug issues. I never been formally offered to fight Anderson Silva in the past. Only one time after my fight with Johnny Hendricks, but I was out. No matter who would have been the opponent, I would have refused. We talked about it in the past with the UFC. I always wanted to, a few years ago, I was interested, but if it would have been in a catch weight, in the middle, and with the drug testing for performance-enhancing drug, and it never really went further than that in the discussion. But now it's time to do it. Fighting game is like the stock market. Some fighters, their stock is very high, some are very low, and it changes all the time according to the fight, the result of the fight. Right now, I believe the fighter with the highest stock right now, Conor is out, Ronda is out, it's Michael Bisping, and he's the biggest challenge for me, and it's really doable for me. He's got the size advantage, he's bigger than me, but I believe I'm more athletic, I got more tools, I'm more well-rounded, and I have a higher fighting IQ than he does. I'm very convinced, and I'm going to prove it to everybody.
You're coming back to the sport. The sport seems to be getting cleaner and cleaner and cleaner. What's your assessment of the way things are in today's landscape?
It's still a lot of problems. I just talked to Dana White a few seconds ago before I come here to do the interview. I think that the issue is USADA is great, but it's made to catch the guy on the long term. It's not made to catch a guy on the short term period of time. So it's made to catch the guy on the long term. And also the weight cut, the thing is, the reason now they allowed to do a weight cut in the morning, now the guys are thinking, oh, I can lose more weight because I can have more time to bounce back, even though they're not supposed to do IV anymore. I think it's a mistake. I'm a firm believer we should use the model of boxing, and it should be maybe like a month, 2 months before, a month before, the day before, and the day of the fight. It should be a certain percentage that you allowed yourself, because now one day one guy will die. One day one guy will die because of this. It is completely insane.
Yeah, Mark Hunt, he feels the same way. Do you believe that it should be the responsibility of some of the fighters that have been in the game, retired athletes, to get themselves involved to make sure the sport is as clean and is as fair as it possibly can be?
I think it's the responsibility of the fighter. Unfortunately, not all the fighters believe that. That's one of the reasons also I'm happy to fight Michael Bisping. He's been very outspoken about performance-enhancing drug. He's been highly outspoken against it, and I'm really happy of that. And I think the fighters should unite, but unfortunately, a lot of fighters still cheat. Unfortunately, and it's martial art. You know, when martial art, I learned the way I've been raised in martial arts since I'm young. When you say "us," you're telling your word to someone. You agree to fight one-on-one with no weapon. Like performance-enhancing drug is like a weapon that you hide behind your back, and you stab the guy, you know, with it. It's cheating. It's not the code of martial art. It shouldn't be there. Shouldn't exist, especially in that sport.
Well, hopefully the sport of mixed martial arts continues to change for the betterment of mixed martial arts. It is going to be one of the biggest matchups in UFC history, the return of George St-Pierre as he takes on the middleweight champion, Michael Bisping.